Where's that? It's my mom, Sherry. We're the state champ.
Something state champ.
Huh?
So they have a mandatory OSHA meeting today for soccer. So she can't miss it. Jim was able to borrow somebody else's Class A uniform. I wasn't ready yet. From shoulders.
Hey, stranger. Feeling better? Huh. They give you anything? Huh.
How you doing? That's okay.
You look so.
So if something feels good, then something else pops
Take my
up.
coat off.
It's like, hopefully it's not there. And I've got your hand. Mine was pretty thick, but I'm sure you did. Yours was getting thick too.
When you go home, we're gonna be always gonna be better. You can go. No, that's the council.
Well, you remember to be here. Besides, Jimmy's got it. They both got it.
Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of Bedford City Council for April 15th, Tax Day. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll.
Coaching,
Here.
Spinks. Here. Salvi,
Here.
Fluharty,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Asbury,
Here.
Longino.
Here. And we will skip the minutes, we don't have those ready tonight. We'll get on to the important part of the meeting here, especially for a couple of young men. We have some promotions on our police department, which are well-deserved, and we always look forward to seeing people move up in our organization, and as they move up, it allows openings, and you get to hire some more people, and it just keeps moving up, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the department, and good thing for our community. Let me start out with Lieutenant Mark Witkowitz. Front and center.
Front and center.
Do this, then we'll do this first. Raise your hand. I state your name.
I, Mark Witkowitz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and faithfully,
honestly,
honestly, and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the position of Lieutenant
of the position of Lieutenant
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Old chief, I'll do your thing here. I'll say a word after. Oh, okay.
Do a selfie.
This is what I do, everyone knows.
Oh, that's like.
Good practice. Stab, it's okay.
We're gonna have Mark say a couple words, and I just want to get a word in first that Mark's dad and I, Dennis, we go way back. He was a fire inspector in University Heights, and I was a fire inspector here, so we saw each other like once a month for all the meetings and stuff, and it's always good to see you, and I know you're proud of this young man here, and we're proud of him too. He's doing a great job, and yeah, if you want to do some introductions.
Yeah, when he was talking to my father, Dennis, my mother, Sherry, with the red iPhone there. Wife Jackie was just up, and that's my son, Zach. My daughter, Abby, couldn't join us. She's at a OSHA soccer meeting. It's mandatory for the state. Very excited to serve the residents of Bedford in another role. It's gonna be very big shoes to fill. The guy that's doing the job I have now is very good at it. So I can't wait to learn from him. There's a lot I need to learn, but I'm very excited at the opportunity. The boys for showing up, thank you. I see you guys in the hall. Everything revolves around patrol and these guys supporting us. Lastly, Jim. I got to work with him on shift for a couple of years, and I knew he was going to be a good leader in due time. So congratulations to Jim and the Solaric family.
I state your name.
I, James Stolar,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and faithfully,
and faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of the position of Sergeant
discharge the duties of the position of Sergeant
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Hold it and look, hold it and look. Shake, salute, smile, salute.
I'll say a few words.
Say a few words, then you'll turn it over to the chief.
Thank the city, thank you, Mayor. I have my father, my mother, father's Jim, mother Diane, my wife Cassie, my daughter Briley here. Without their support, I wouldn't, I had to borrow my jacket, so it's not good. So also, thank you to the guys. This is gonna be the shift I'm gonna be working on. Got a great FTO sergeant back there, and of course my sergeant, now lieutenant, who I work for back here. But thank you to everybody for coming. Appreciate it.
All right, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, sharing this special night. And I want to say congratulations to Mark and Jim. Very proud of both of them. They are already fantastic leaders, and they're going to be even better now. And We have a lot of movement in the police department in a short amount of time. In about 18 months, 7 people are leaving, hiring 7 people, and movement along the ranks. So, big change in a short amount of time. I got the best people here to make it possible. So, on that note, I wanted to thank City Council and the City Administration and Civil Service for allowing us to make these promotions and hirings a little bit ahead of time to make a smooth transition. It really helps. So, thank you all again very much. And again, Mark Wickwitz is going to be our executive lieutenant. That's number 3 in the department. And he's going to be in charge of the detective bureau and some other administrative duties. And I'm totally confident he's going to do an outstanding job. And Jim is going to be in charge of one of our shifts, our night shift. Actually, the shift he's been on. And I have full confidence in him too. And also his partner he brings along with him, a 4-legged one. So, but congratulations again. Thank you.
I'll give you a couple minutes if you.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
We're going to have a presentation from the athletic director, commander from the high school, but he's running a little bit late. Oh, he is there? Oh, I didn't see you in the back. I'm sorry. Come on up. I was looking around.
You didn't memorize it?
No, we had a sergeant, a lieutenant, now we got a commander.
I'll let that work its way down here. So, as the presentation is getting started, for anyone who is new here, my name is J.C. Commander, and I am the athletic director of Bedford High School. This is year 1 for me, heading into my first spring, with my first dual track meet on the docket for tomorrow. So, I survived fall and winter. So I'm hoping this spring, minus all the rain that we've been having, is going to be just as much of a success and a positive learning experience for me as the first 2 seasons have been. So the reason for said presentation is one of the things that I wanted to do when I kind of took this job was make sure that I did my best job to make sure that all 4 cities that graciously feed their students into our building, kind of stay in the loop with the things that we do. And I believe honestly that we're doing a lot of great things across the district athletically, academically as well, but again, I kind of try to stay in my little corner. So I always like to start off by saying that definitely a department of more than one person, myself being the K-12 Director of Athletics, but I also have a ton of help. Mr. Dan Brinson, who is my Assistant AD, and Ms. Heather Layton, who is my Athletic Secretary. And that whole Rise of the Bearcats thing, that's just a tagline that I throw on the end of everything. So if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, you'll see that a lot of my posts end with that. So I'll get started here. So winter sports, starting out with our Lady Bearcat basketball program. Total of 23 student athletes. We had 2 teams. Head coach Jeff Green. I know the record does not indicate a whole lot of success, but there was growth over the course of the season. 3 of our student athletes were selected all conference. Sanaa Flowers Payne, 3rd team, Kaylin Shaw, 2nd team, India Woodson, 1st team. If you remember from the fall, India Woodson's name was also mentioned because she was actually, I believe, 3rd team or 2nd team for volleyball as well. So she's a pretty solid athlete and a great student too, who's actually headed to Baldwin Wallace in the fall. One of my, if you've kind of sat through one of these before, I love the all-conference athletes and I love to give them some love, but one of the things that I tend to be a little bit more proud of is our academic status. So we created something called an Academic All-American, where you can be preseason, meaning as the season starts, if you have a 3.0 GPA or better, we kind of put you on that team, show you some love. It also gets you into all other varsity contests for free over the course of that season. And then we also do postseason. So out of those 23, 9 of our student athletes on the girls basketball program ended with a 3.0 or better, team GPA of 2.8. Again, I think it's good to have a plan in place whenever you are a part of any organization. So the goal is to get our kids in the weight room, get them conditioning, get them doing skills and drills. Basically say the 3 words, time and gym. So that's what we want to do. Moving on to boys basketball. Head coach Pete Priola, 40 student athletes. Please forgive me, one typo, that was 3 teams. So we had a varsity, a JV, and a freshman team. Went 11 and 13. Again, record doesn't necessarily indicate a whole lot of success, but definitely better from last season. We did actually manage to win our first home playoff game of the year before eventually losing in the second round at Medina, in a game where we were up. So I'd like to think that we kind of should have won that one too. Once again, 3 student athletes made all conference, Cam Bybee, Terrell Pollard, and Javon Hudson. 2 of those 3 are underclassmen and will be back next year. 10 postseason All-Americans, academic All-Americans, team GPA of 2.5. Once again, just kind of jumping down the goals. Strength and conditioning is going to be a huge thing for me coming into this off season for all of our programs. So you'll see that theme throughout the goals that I have. Getting our kids skill development, getting them playing over the course of the summer. So summer leagues, be they here, be they Euclid, be they wherever, I want to get the kids playing as often as possible. All right, moving to our wrestling program. Great year for Coach Hoon and his boys. 3 and 6 in dual meets, but we did have 2 of our student athletes qualify for the state tournament. Tristan Jackson, who is actually only a sophomore, qualified for the state meet, as did Philip Malone. I love to talk about Philip Malone because based on when the season starts, academic eligibility comes into play. So a start of a season doesn't necessarily always align with the end of a quarter. So based on where the quarter ended and the season began, Philip Malone, believe it or not, was academically ineligible to participate. He stayed with it, got his grades up, continued to practice, made himself eligible, and managed to somehow qualify for the state tournament. So for me, that's a big deal. I think it shows his commitment, and also it shows our coach's commitment to him. So big deal, and I'm very proud of Philip for that. 4 postseason academic All-Americans, a team GPA of 2.4. Once again, you see that strength and conditioning component there that we want to focus on, as well as doing some things with like open mat opportunities over the summer. Again, once again, getting our kids wrestling, and even taking a solid look at our middle school program to see how we can get more kids doing it at an early age. Swimming and diving. 11 student athletes, Tim Calley, head coach. We had 1 student narrowly miss the districts in diving. I like to brag about this group academically because 8 of the 11 were postseason academic All-Americans, team GPA of 3.3. So very impressive group. Coach Calley does not mess around when it comes to their grades. And I guess the cool thing about this group is I believe we only lost like 2 or 3 of them. So the majority of the team will be back. So I'm very excited about that. All right, moving on to our bowling team. These were essentially the rock stars of the winter. 19 student athletes. Boys coach Steve Schuster, girls coach Krista Thomas. Records are what they are, but we had the Lake Erie League Female Bowler of the Year, senior Latia Grimes. We also had the Lake Erie League Male Bowler of the Year, Tony Frankenberry. And then we also had the LEL Coach of the Year in bowling, Steve Schuster. So good group. The boys team actually, for the first time in school history, made it to districts as a team. So very impressive year out of them. And once again, not losing too many seniors from this program. So a lot of the kids that did a lot of the heavy lifting over the course of the year will be back for us. So very much looking forward to it. Indoor track, another solid year for this group, 24 kids, head coach Eugene Sanders. The indoor track in the state of Ohio is, even though the OHSA is somewhat involved, it's officially OATCCC, that's Ohio, and right now I'm drawing a blank probably because I'm on camera, but just know that it's a very big deal. So I'm very proud of this group. Trinity Pollard, Jr., just started triple jumping this year, ladies and gentlemen, and she managed to finish 4th in the state. So really looking forward to her in outdoor. Our girls 4x2 relay came up 9th in the state. Our boys 4x2 relay came up 9th in the state. And then Mr. Darren Morrow on his own, 13th in the 200. That same boys relay that you see placing 9th here, they just won the gold at the Warrior Relays at Walsh over the course of the weekend. So they are definitely kind of just setting their sights on Dayton where the state meet's going to be this year. 3.1 team GPA. Out of all the names that you kind of see mixed in at the top there, only one of those names is actually a senior. So that whole group is going to go through outdoor, and then they'll be back next year with the exception of one name. So very happy and very impressed by that group. And then of course winter cheer. Again, I think it all starts with our cheerleaders. They kind of get the crowd going, and we've got a great coach, Ms. Jasmine McAllister, who actually teaches in district at Central. Alana Brooks, probably one of the highlights of this group, got a chance to go attend a cheerleading combine in Atlanta, Georgia for HBCUs. Waiting to see kind of how that ends for her in terms of if she landed a spot with one of those schools. Team GPA of 2.8. So again, a very, very solid year for that group. And I am one of those athletic directors that considers our cheerleaders every bit an athlete as much as a football player or basketball player, because it's a commitment. It requires, you know, it requires physical effort. It requires training. It requires discipline. So again, you won't hear me saying, oh, it's only cheerleading. I very much admire our cheer team. And then pretty much summing it up, one thing, I think when you are running an organization or when you are kind of in charge, you always have to kind of self-evaluate. So one of the things that I did here is kind of taking a look at our fall athletics, with us having 88 preseason academic All-Americans, and then ending the season with 91. In winter, we started with 120 preseason academic All-Americans, but we only ended with 66. So, okay, so what does that say to me? That says that my winter coaches and I need to focus a little bit more on study tables with these kids over the course of the winter so that we can make sure that we don't lose that. Because again, that's important. And one of my major focuses with the entire program this year is making sure that grades are an emphasis. So having coaches have those conversations, myself having those conversations with certain kids when I see them in the hallway. So that's just a part of the game. Spring athletics are underway. Baseball, softball, minus the rain, of course. Track and field, girls flag, which I believe is on its way to being an OHSAA sport. We are in a league that is run by the Browns. One of my girls flag football players right here. And also boys volleyball, which if you did not know is an OHSAA sport. So we do have a boys volleyball team, and they will be back on the floor tomorrow when St. Martin de Porres comes into the gym to play us. So that concludes my winter athletics report for Bedford High School.
Question. Okay, and this question is about your swimming and diving program. Is the pool functioning now?
It is not. Unfortunately, pre the start of my tenure, I believe. So can't tell you exactly what happened. All I know is that for whatever reason, it's out of commission, and with the building coming down now, we are really going to be leaning on Bedford Heights Rec in terms of a practice facility, and then obviously not allowed to hold meets there per se because of the size of the pool, but you know, our coach has no problem going on the road and competing.
Okay, and that was part of my next question also. There's no pool on the plans for the new facility, so what's going to happen with the program?
So we plan on just exactly what we did this year. We plan on trying to utilize Bedford Heights Rec for practices, middle school, high school, and then we'll be at invitationals wherever we can get into one.
Appreciate you being here. Yes, thank you. All good stuff. All right, reports. Mr. City Manager.
Just have a few items today, Mayor. First off, we have been advertising for the Turney Road resurfacing project that's going to start from Lee Road and go all the way just past Button down at the dip on West Grace. That bid opening is scheduled for the end of April, and we will most likely be looking to start the project in June following when school is out. So there's no inconvenience for the schools in Glendale. So that bid opening will be taking place end of this month, and we'll have a recommendation to City Council for the May 6th council meeting. Also, June, there'll be some information going out in the water bill, but June is free permit month for owner-occupied properties within the city looking to do work. Please contact the building department, save you a little bit of dollars there. Shred Day is scheduled for May 18th. That'll take place right out here in the municipal parking lot. That's from 9 to 12. And that is being provided through a grant from the Solid Waste District. Also want to just provide an update. We are working with both property owners, the land bank, and staff internally to address some of the homes that were recently condemned by City Council. One of them, 97 Northfield Road, and there's also a property on West Glendale and on Nordham. The goal is to have all of those down by the summertime, so we are working on that. And lastly, just a friendly reminder that we're going to be conducting the ward meetings, and those start next Monday, April 22nd, wards 1 and 6. On April 29th is wards 2 and 4, and on May 13th is wards 3 and 5. Feel free to stop out. Our administration will provide a brief overview of some large projects taking place, and then we'll open it up for Q&A, and we'll have department heads present as well, so you can ask any of us questions, or if you need assistance with anything, we'll help in any way we can. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Law Director.
Just very quickly, folks, just wanted to congratulate Lieutenant Wikowitz and Sergeant Stolaric and Commander, Athletic Director Commander and the student athletes for a successful season, and keep up the good work. Thank you. End of report.
Madam Law. Finance Director. Almost said it, didn't I? Finance, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I wanted to congratulate Lieutenant Mark Wikowitz and Sergeant Jim Stolaric on their promotions. It's neat to see everyone moving around in these positions, especially being the Secretary of the Civil Service Commission. And in that, the Civil Service Commission is establishing a list of candidates for the position of fire medic for the City of Bedford Fire Department. The written tests are being administered right now through National Testing Network, and that's at nationaltestingnetwork.com. And the deadline at this time is at May 6th, which is coming up not too far from now at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Spinks.
Good evening. Echo everybody else. Congratulations to both of our promotions, well deserved. We've got an amazing team in our police department and our fire department. There will be a lot of changes coming up, so we're very secure of the guys that we've got in there and the ladies that we have in both teams. So very lucky to have them. As Mike said, next week starts the ward meetings of, it's going to be Ward 1, myself, and Mr. Longino, Ward 6, who has some of ward that I used to have. So I'll get to see some of my own residents from the Willard area. So also, I know that Mike, the chipper just picked up last Tuesday, correct? Last week. So it's the beginning, it's usually the first Tuesday of the month. So make sure, I know the last rain that we had, there's a lot of tree limbs down on the tree lawns and stuff. Mike, matter of fact, I need to turn in when I have a rather large one that's on Dewhurst, and I spoke to the gentleman that lives there, and he has no way of cutting it up. It's a rather large limb and it's blocking the sidewalk, so we pulled it off. So will the guys?
Depending on how large it is.
It's not huge, but yeah. he doesn't have anything to cut it up with, so. But anyway, if you do have limbs down, make sure that you call the service department, and let them know that you need them picked up. Also, trash cans being left out again. Mike, I did notice I know they are tagging. Usually when trash cans are left out, usually council people or whoever will report them if they're left out a certain amount of time. The city does tag them. So give them a warning or they'll be fined. So please, and if you have a neighbor, an elderly neighbor or somebody that you know works the light, and if you can help them out with those trash cans, please do so. Help out your neighbor, be a good neighbor. Same thing with picking up trash. If you see trash on your tree lawn, please pick it up. I'll be going over some stuff programs and stuff that I'm working on, at the meeting, next, week. And also, Garden Club meeting, if you're interested in something, it's a great club. It's, the first one was last month. It's going to be April 18. It's always the third Thursday, at Ellenwood in room 4. It starts at 6:30. It's a great thing. Got a bunch of, I'm in charge of getting the speakers this year. Last month was on bonsai. It was very interesting, and we've got a good speaker coming up this week as well. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, don't forget, Strawberry Festival, pre-order pies. They are very popular, so if you want to get your, this is our 60th anniversary. It's June 7th, 8th, and 9th. Make sure that this year new is fresh strawberry pies. They are pre-order only, so you have to order them ahead of time. I've got information here to pre-order them, and they are already pretty popular. So make sure you get that pre-ordered. And a report.
Thank you. Mr. Selby?
Good evening. Since my last city council meeting, since the last city council meeting, I met with a number of Ward 2 residents at their homes as well as responding to incoming phone calls. One concern that was brought to my attention was that the tornado warning siren located on Solon Road did not allegedly activate and sound during the past 2 scheduled tornado drills. In response to the residents' concern, I called Mark Christie, Director of Collier County Office of Emergency Management, to make him aware that there might be a process or equipment failure. With the severe weather we've had recently and will have again, it is important for this equipment to work. The Office of Emergency Management is to follow up on this inquiry, and the director did return my call. I also responded to a resident's home after a tree fell on her tree lawn and fell over the sidewalk and onto her front lawn. Perhaps the law director or city manager can give a brief explanation on how the city handles such incidents given Ohio statutes, common law, and any Bedford ordinances after my report. I would like to thank the city manager and our city workers for cleaning up that tree. The resident was very appreciative. My plan to improve the quality and cleanliness of commercial buildings in Ward 2 is progressing. The strip center at Northfield and Columbus has been an eyesore for many years. This neighborhood strip center was once a very well-maintained and inviting place to shop for local residents. Longtime residents will remember Lawson's, the pharmacy, Gina's Pizza, and other stable service providers. Since that time, the property has become neglected and standards have fallen to an unacceptable level. I approached Bay Market about 2 months ago to request that the owner voluntarily clean up the store, which has since closed. I have spoken with the City Manager Malice, about this property and appreciate the administration's following up with the landlord and tenants that need to comply with Bedford ordinances. To return the strip center to the condition and cleanliness of the 1970s will take the perseverance of the city and residents to demand higher standards from landlords and commercial tenants who want to do business in Bedford. To conclude, a quick reminder, I believe it is by city ordinance, please correct me if I'm wrong, trash cans must not be put out on your tree lawn before 6 p.m. the night before your scheduled trash pickup, and cans must be removed from your tree lawn or curb by 6 p.m. on trash day. Cooperation with this policy limits trash and cans from being blown into the streets by high winds. Thank you very much. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Fuller.
I didn't know I got cheered for.
You don't.
Bring it back next time.
Let's see here. Congratulations to the two new officers. Guys are moving up the ranks pretty fast around here, which is a good thing. And, like the chief said, there's a lot of turnover coming. Guys are retiring, so we're getting a whole new group of guys coming in here. Board meetings, I thought board 3 and 5 was,
I made a mistake.
oh, well, jeez.
They pointed it out.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem, we'll let you slide this time. Grass cutting, it's that time of year, everybody. The weather's changing, get a few good days, the grass is growing. We gotta get out there and start cutting some of these lawns, they look terrible, and I know the weather, but, when you get a chance, you gotta catch up on the new lawns. Cause it's that time of year, I'll be out writing people up, turning you in, so cut your lawns, make your house look nice. We want the city to look nice. It's a bad thing that goes on more and more in this city every year. We need to start really concentrating on these grass yards cutting and, get kept up with it. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who came out tonight, especially those who has never been to a city council meeting. Don't make this your last time. It's always good to see the youth come to our meetings because I like to say that you are our future. One day you will be sitting where I'm sitting, hopefully hoping to run the city. I'd like to also say congratulations to Lieutenant Wickowitz and Sergeant Stolarek on their promotions. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Asbury?
Thank you, Mayor. Like everybody else, I'd like to say congratulations to Lieutenant Witkowitz and Sergeant Stolarek. I worked as an auxiliary officer for Bedford for 3 years prior to becoming a council member. And I can tell you for a fact that these are very deserved promotions. Great guys, and they will do a good job for us. With the ward meetings, Ward 5 will be with Ward 2, and that's May 13th at 7 p.m. here. As Mike said, department heads will be here, finance director, law director will be here. If you have any questions concerning the ward. Mike, I know we talked about it briefly a couple meetings ago, but Palmetto Woods, the road leading up to it, we got some plans hopefully.
Yeah, we're looking to address that. What we were waiting on was the report, which we did get for the culvert. So that culvert is okay. It's not in the condition that the culvert is on Greencroft. Now that we have that, we're looking at a way to address the roadway.
So residents that are living in Palmetto Woods, we are gonna fix that road. It's crumbling, we know that. We're gonna do some repairs, I'm sure, in the meantime, but it will be corrected. I'd like to go over noise ordinance. I had an issue, a resident sent me a video over the weekend, and it was fairly early on a Sunday morning, of her neighbor playing extremely loud music. And even after she sent me the video and then I downgraded it or whatever the heck you do to send it in a text message to myself, because it was in a different format, I still had to turn the volume down on my phone because the music was that loud. Some people think that because it's during the day that it's okay to be extremely loud, and we all enjoy music, I'm sure, at rational volumes. A couple sections of our ordinance. 511.03, noise from persons or stationary noise sources in residential zoning district or affecting residential or institutional property. And basically what it says, no person shall create or cause to be emitted from this person or from any stationary noise source, any noise which causes or results in a noise level equal to or exceeding 55 decibels, measured at any lot line located in a residential zoning district. 55 decibels is normal conversation level, 55 to 60 decibels. 60 decibels is also about the an office setting volume. So it seems like a low bar, right? But like I said, the volume of the music that was on the video that was sent to me, it was just, you know, I'm an old heavy metal head. I like my music, but I don't want to disturb my neighbors. So if what I'm trying to say is please don't be that neighbor, even though it's during the day. Play your music, have fun, but try and keep it a little lower than, you know, blasting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Longino?
I'll be brief. It rained. Nobody think I can be brief. I'll say this for started. My mother's watching, I'm sure online, and I hope she feels better. She wasn't feeling too good. She had went to the doctor today, and she wasn't feeling too good. So my mother Dorothy is watching. Feel better. Praying for you where I'm up here. We have a contact. We have another relationship besides him working with the school district. His kids go to Beechwood schools where I'm a police officer at the schools where I'm a resource officer there. So I've been knowing him for years before he took on the job. And also as a track official, I do work with his kids at track meets from Bedford. So I see the kids around. So I want to definitely touch on that. I know he said he had to get out of here, but I told him make sure he wait till we finish talking, because I definitely want to tell him thank you, and I'll be seeing him, even though I'm not working your meet tomorrow. I was supposed to be, but I'm going to be at Warren. So I want to say that. Cans, I'm not going to beat that. I did have notes to say something about that, but I won't say anything else about the cans. Summer, I was talking about grass. Vic got that. Come on, man, I'm going to say that. Vic said that. I wanted to touch on that, too. Definitely congratulations to our new lieutenant and new sergeant. I wanted to be the first one to call him LT as a police officer and a person that was on the Civil Service Commission. It's always good because I think this is my first promotion that I wasn't part in the last 5 years. So, and my first promotion as a member of the city council. So I definitely want to talk about that. I want to talk about Juneteenth because we have 3 more meetings before the actual celebration. And we're going to have a fun run. There's going to be a part of that committee, so it's going to be a freedom run is what it's called. And there's going to be a function at the high school with all the surrounding communities are involved in it, so not just Bedford, even though it's at the high school. I want to talk about, once again, stepping on a ward, but he was cool with it. Mr. D.L. Ford opening up a business. He had a soft opening Saturday. I went and saw that, and that was a great thing, but I wanted to touch base. I told him I'd be sending him out a shout out. He's going to have the grand opening next month. But thank you for not getting upset about that.
Never have.
I got a young man that's going to be speaking later. I'm not going to get to say anything about him then, but I want to say something about him now. I've been talking about this young man since he accidentally called me thinking I was in his ward. I was his ward commander. Stuck in my head. Ward council person, but I wasn't. But I talked to him for about 5 minutes, and I stopped him and I said, "This is not going to come across right on the phone. I got to meet you." And when I left speaking to this guy, I'm not even going to tell you much about his program because I asked him to come today, and he's here. Dynamic is the only adjective I could come up with. And once you meet this young man, if you're going to hear him talk here, but you need to go and talk to him later after this, because dynamic is the only adjective. When I told my father about him, he said, "Oh, he reminds you of you when you was his age?" No, I said he reminds me of what I wanted to be at his age. And I told him, I said, if you weren't happily married, you would be perfect to be my son-in-law. So, but he's sitting right up there. He's gonna say a few words, and I see he got his posse with him. So he's gonna talk later on once we have once everybody gets to come up here. Once we go through all these ordinances, he's gonna come up there and tell you a little bit about his program and what he's got going on. But like I said, if you don't use the word dynamic to describe this young man, then something's wrong with you. So, well, I shouldn't have said it. That might be a little personal. Personally, that's the way I feel. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you. Just to mention, next Wednesday, the 24th, the Rotary Club and Bedford High School is going to have their CTE banquet, career and technical. Just another partnership between our civic groups and the schools, and it's always a good thing to acknowledge these kids that are doing some special stuff in their classes at the high school. We celebrate our athletics, as you have, which is good, and our academics, and these, they're kind of both, but I want to say they're the working guys and girls up there. They're taking the classes of cosmetology and computers and all these technical stuff, and they're really fascinating kids that do this. And a lot of them are on the other part. They're academic, also athletics, but just another partnership to acknowledge that we have some really good kids up this high school. And I've said that time and time again. And another good example of that was last Wednesday at the senior luncheon. The Heskett and the senior high jazz bands played for our seniors. And man, these kids are talented. You know, I could have sat there all afternoon and listened to that music. And just another example of the good kids we got there. And you know, Commander, Mr. Commander, that a lot of good kids. And they need to be shouted out more often, that the good stuff these kids are doing, and there's so many things they're doing in the school. It's amazing, and it's all good stuff. So I just wanted to mention that, and with that, let's get down to business. Ordinance number 24-24.
It's an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with National Pump and Process, Inc. for repairs to the tower influent pump at the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency.
This sounds like exciting stuff.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I'm trying to think of something.
The stuff we gotta make the city run. Can I have a motion for suspension? Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochee.
Yes. Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. Mike?
Yes, Mayor, as John mentioned, this is for a repair to the influent pumping system at the plant. This pumping system is required to operate continuously to meet our permit requirements. This pump was initially put in 2003 and has passed its normal useful life. The city did obtain 3 separate quotes, and National Pump and Process is the lowest of the 3 quotes provided, and we have worked with them in the past, and they do good work.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-24.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Axon Enterprises, Inc. for upgrades to the police department's body cameras and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. As mentioned, this is a number of different software upgrades to our existing technology that we use. A couple of the one primary feature is a redaction software that is going to do all the redaction when we work to fulfill public records requests. It'll obviously lighten the amount of workload that staff currently have to spend when they have to manually redact all of this video to comply with the request. Also, it will work, the other piece of software will allow this, the body cam footage and the videos to directly link to our CAD system, and that it'll pair up all of the calls for service, all of the report numbers, everything will all be linked within the system. The best feature or the best benefit of this, it is all funded 100% through a grant through the Office of Criminal Justice, and once we make this purchase, we'll be able to submit for reimbursement.
Very good. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-24.
Is an ordinance amending section 351.18 of our codified ordinances entitled Trucks, Trailer, and Recreational Vehicle Parking in Residential Areas of our traffic code to read as section 351.18, a truck, trailer, and recreational vehicle parking in residential areas and private or public parking lots, and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Asbury, second by Smith. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. We amended an existing ordinance a couple of months ago, cleaning up some of the parking language, restricting certain parking on municipal properties and within municipal parking lots. This is another section of the code, and we're simply making sure this language mirrors what was already passed as well. And that is obviously prohibiting pieces of equipment like car haulers, tractor trailers, things of that nature to be left on city-owned property.
Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 27-24.
I believe this is the last one, guys. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to participate in the ODOT winter contract for 2024 and 2025 for road salt and declaring an emergency.
Doesn't seem like we need to be worried about salt now, just with spring just starting, but motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. Again, Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. The city is part of a consortium when it comes to purchasing our salt, and what we do this time every year, we try to determine the amount, one that we can hold at the city of Bedford, but also the amount that we'll plan to use in the upcoming year based on what we have already stored. The number that we determine, if it's 2,000, 3,000 tons, we are required to purchase and take delivery of 90% of that. So yes, it is somewhat of a guessing game, but we also take into account what we currently have on order, what we currently have stored at our garage, and then we put this in. All of the communities that are part of the consortium provide an estimate. This estimate goes with ODOT, and then they work to bid and get the lowest cost per ton for all the communities that are part of that consortium. So this is authorizing us, giving us that number that we're going to be sharing with ODOT and what we're looking to obtain next year.
Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
And now we come to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
That's you, bro.
I wanted to see if anyone else was gonna step up. How y'all doing today?
Okay.
My name is Antoine Tobert, that's A-N-T-O-I-N-E, last name Tobert, T-O-L-B-E-R-T. I go by Chairman Fahim. I'm the chairman of an organization by the name of New Era Cleveland. We are the #1 community organization in the country. Our range of services are unlimited, from food distribution to youth mentoring to safety concepts, you name it, we do it. There really aren't many limitations on what we're willing to do to provide services to families that are in need. I'm here today by invitation of Councilman Longino. I appreciate you. This is my honorary uncle. I met him about a week and a half ago. Great guy. So specifically what I wanted to touch on is violence prevention, right? That's the nucleus of our organization. We really, the past few years, since 2016, we've been based in the city of Cleveland, the Woodhill, Woodland, Buckeye, Kinsman neighborhood, addressing gun violence, especially amongst our youth. We're looking to render those services right here in Bedford. We currently are located downtown Bedford, 659 Broadway. We're called the Cave of Adullam Academy. In December 21st, we graduated 15 young men and women from our Cave of Adullam Academy. They went through a 15, 16 weeks rites of passage. So we talk about that youth development, developing our leaders, accountability. As y'all know, a lot of our youth today struggle with accountability, holding themselves accountable. It's just so much. I think about the larger spectrum of gun violence and how do we address it, and our focus is always prevention. And I also want to heighten the awareness that gun violence that's happening in Cleveland is directly correlated to Bedford and Maple and Garfield. So while we're watching these atrocities happen abroad, I'm often reminded that these things are right here on our doorsteps as well. I would like to say, like, we love being in the city of Bedford. We love taking advantage of all the amenities. Tinkers Creek, a lot of the businesses that surround our academy have welcomed us, embraced our youth with open arms. We have a partnership with Bedford Heights Library. They have done a phenomenal job of providing resources that we need, such as books, with cultural competency, right? That's an important thing for our youth to be able to see themselves reflected, not only with the authors, but the characters that are illustrated in these books. What else? It's just so much. Right now, what you're witnessing as you see our youth here, the last few weeks we've been going down to Cleveland City Council, speaking on gun violence and the State of the Youth Address. So these youth have been able to watch me just develop and cultivate speeches, go down and make public comments. So this is their turn now. So I don't want to take up too much time, but they're going to get up here, they're going to tell you what they want to see from their perspective as youth being impacted by gun violence. What is it going to take to prevent gun violence? I know a few weeks ago we witnessed a young man murdered not too far from here, Libby gas station. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was shot 25 times. If I'm not mistaken, 19 years old. And so things like that is what we really want to get ahead of, addressing the things that are influencing the behavior, because again, our stance is always prevention, right? And we want to do this in partnership with the city of Bedford, not in opposition of the city of Bedford. Partnership, that's our thing, right? So how can we take a systematic approach and also take a community approach, right? A holistic approach of addressing gun violence and being preventative, especially when it regards our youth. And I always pose the question, how are these children getting their hands on these automatic weapons with extended clips and laser beams and what seems to be an unlimited amount of ammunition, right? So again, it's about addressing some of those issues. Also, in addition to that, we got two things that we have coming up here, right? So 420, we're doing a community engagement event where we're going to be distributing outdoor toys, outdoor recreational toys, encouraging these children to get outside and be kids again, sidewalk chalk, hula hoops, basketballs, footballs, jump ropes, put down those devices, get off of social media, detach away from the things that are negatively influencing them, and get outside and be children again, like we used to do back in my day. I know some of you all are a little bit older than me, but I grew up in a neighborhood where it was okay to go outside and play in your front yard, and to know your neighbors, and to know the kids that lived on this next street over. And we didn't view each other as what they call now ops, which is short for opposition. So they're going to get up, they're going to speak to you all. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to get off my soapbox. So first up, they are very nervous. I'll let you all know that now. So please embrace them with a smile. And like Mr. Councilman Smith said, these are our leaders of tomorrow. And 80 to 85% of our kids live in the city of Bedford. Majority of them are system impacted, meaning foster care or the juvenile detention center in some way, some shape or form or some capacity. Right, so thank y'all. First, I'll have Marley and Savannah come up. They're both 10 years old.
It is on camera. hand it to you, now. The meeting's being recorded, just so you know.
Okay, thank you.
Not tell them, so it's-
Well,
My name is Savannah, and today I am stating my opinion of how it is traumatizing and wrong of people to murder, shoot, or Your city council meeting, I feel that this is really unfair that how little kids or older kids get killed, stabbed, or shot. And I just want to say that all of this killing and violence is really wrong. Other people don't care who they killed, and sometimes people just kill people for no reason at all. And nobody needs to do that, because what's the point of killing people? What if people just was walking around just shooting people for no absolute reason? People would kill women, men, and even women that are pregnant, and they don't even care. Thank you for listening to my opinion. Dear City Council, my name is Marley McMichael Marie. My public speaking is about youth violence. I will now begin. First, I will start with my issue. Youth violence is a problem with our community. Moms can't even wake up without knowing their son is being gone. I hate to have this in our community. Now, I want everybody to think if you saw or heard your son's life was gone. It's bad, isn't it? That's what moms have to suffer within court. You're seeing who did this only to find out this kid is about 16 or 15. Now I will talk about my affecting. Less kids are alive. Some kids are even scared to step outside because of what's happening out there. It's not fair that they can't go outside because every day on the news it's saying shots fired at 5-year-olds or over. Next I will start with my solution. Maybe a way we can stop this is the music. Kids listen about rappers killing another rapper. Is this the way God or Jesus raised this world? No. Another solution is we have an academy located in Bedford, 659, if anyone has been through some things. And I know this because we have helped other people who saw loved ones die to gun violence. Thank you for listening.
Hello, how y'all doing today? Hello, my name is Lachelle Harris, and I'm here to speak about gun violence. The way I feel about gun violence is important because based off my own experience, I used to think it was cool to own a gun, influenced by the music because people who had guns, they were just praised. But it wasn't cool until I saw one of my family members get shot over literally nothing. And what will you do about this gun violence? How would you feel if you watched a family member of yours get shot? You'd be hurt, right? You'd wanna have some justice, right? Right? Exactly. You have the power in the part to make things right, so why not do so? There are programs for children to stay off the street, specifically the Slave Over Dome. And so what will y'all do about this? Will you just sit back and continue to turn on Channel 8 News every morning and see how we lost another life due to gun violence? The new era of Cleveland has helped me a lot. I used to have lots of free time until I joined the football team, but I still had lots of free time afterwards. I often spent some of my time doing and being around the things a 16-year-old girl shouldn't partake in. I don't have that free time anymore because my free time is spent working and developing on myself, forming my new life because I have plenty of years ahead of me. I don't want to become one of those kids who died due to gun violence. Make a change because you have the power to do so. use it. It's been 72 homicides, maybe more, and it's only April. When will this problem come to an end? Fix the problem before it comes too late.
My name is Israel Jeffries Good, and I am somebody. The problem with gun violence in my community is that it can be easily influenced and encouraged by music that encourages gun violence. And on the topic of music, music has influenced me in a number of ways. Music has influenced me emotionally. It has made me feel sad, mad, ecstatic, etc. What you say can affect and impact how another person can feel. You have the power to make a difference. Gun violence can also be caused by helplessness and lack of communication. Gun violence was highest in Cleveland, Ohio during June, July, and August of 2022. Children and men may not know who to communicate to. During summer break months, June, July, and early August, my solution for this is to allow your child to speak about peer pressure and how they are feeling emotionally. In conclusion, this is the problem and solution to gun violence in my community.
We got just three more, I'm sorry.
I'm Christopher Johnson. I'm a member of New Era Cleveland Troops. I am in 9th grade and I rap about positivity. Today I will be telling you the details about the problem solving and the causes of gun violence. Firstly, the cause of gun violence is because it's easy access of guns. Also, more people are easily influenced by the music and music videos people love to listen to. Their peers and surroundings, they are from somewhere that normalize these things, to think that all these things are cool. And these things are resonating in these kids' head, and they sit there and think like these things are cool. And then all the bad things like guns, drugs, and violence start to fall in place. We can't just blame them, it's the parents and the friends, and you don't really see nobody doing this in the suburbs. It's the places where it's a bad environment, it's bad houses and abandoned houses. And we can help by putting people and organizations like New Era Cleveland inside these cities and homes and show them that they have more power than what they think. And I know that this will work because I have seen it and done it myself. I am a 15-year-old who was falling in love with these gun raps and rapping like that myself until I went to a program, the Cave of the Devil. So then you can put these programs in place and put more entertainment for the kids.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Wayne. I dropped my speech in the mailbox before I came here, but I remember it. Hi, my name is Dwayne Wayne. I am the chairman of New Era Cleveland Troops, and I really think that we should Okay, I really think that we shouldn't be locking kids up for just doing little things like robbing a store or nothing. But I can see these kids are out here killing other kids, but we're not getting justice for it. If the kids killed the cop, we would have had justice, and that kid would have been locked up behind bars and sentenced to life behind bars. But I really think we shouldn't do that because kids, they matter, and everybody makes mistakes. So I really think y'all should invest in New Era Cleveland, because when I joined there, I was headed down the wrong path, and I could have went to jail because I was playing with a BB gun at the park and somebody called the police, and I had my gel blaster and somebody called the police, and none of my friends was there. They was there, but they all said that was Wayne. They was nobody tried to help me or nothing. So when I went to the New Era Cleveland, it changed my life because
I was really headed down the wrong path and following after my big brothers until he taught me something else. And yeah.
Ultimately, what it boils down to is the ability to influence change behavior is modelship. Right? We can talk all day about what needs to be done, but are we modeling those behaviors that we want to see? Right? And that's what we are able to offer in this environment. Modelship. Most of our children come from single-parent homes, meaning there's no father there, and they're striving to be a man, but with no positive representation of what a man is. How does a man conduct himself? Right? What is a man's obligation to his family and to his community at large? And so that's what we're embedding in their heads, day in and day out. Again, like you heard them say, rap music. They're looking up to rappers. That's their ideology of what a man is, and that's what they're trying to obtain. So, again, it's about replacing that with something that's going to be as influential, but in a positive way. And right here, slide.
Good evening, kings and queens. I'm Mayor Askew, speaking on behalf of New Era Cleveland Troops, and today I'll be addressing the violence amongst the youth, but also giving a solution to prevent the violence amongst the youth. Now, before I get into all that, I want to state one thing. I'm somebody, my voice matters, and I know that until I'm 18 and I can vote, okay? Now, let's get to it. In the past 2 years, I myself has lost 4 friends through gun violence. 2 6 feet and under, and 2 incarcerated in jail right now. And this year alone, we the people has lost more teens than we count on our fingers. 1 is too many. Now I believe we got so much violence amongst youth because we the youth are misunderstood. We the youth are naturally curious, but what you feel our curiosity would become our reality. So that being said, I hate going on script, but I also hate reading from a script. Let me try this from the heart. We the youth are naturally curious, and what you feed our curiosity would becomes our reality. We are not taught to be killers and murderers. We're not born to be killers and murderers. We're taught that. We're taught that, shown that, and we hear that. From the music we listen to, the things we're exposed to on social media, and the things we're exposed to on television. Now my solution to prevent this is New Era Cleveland. New Era Cleveland, an organization that's innovative. It has a personalized program to build the youth. One that engages the community, works to understand the youth, and also teach the youth about Mansa Musa, the Moors, the Huey P. Newton, the school and prison pipeline, how easily make $1 million off a homicide, and that's not counting the victims that survive. Now, the data that shows this work is the young man and woman you see before you today. Young men and women who are not 6 feet under, who's not incarcerated, who's not binding to the social norms of ignorance becoming the new cool for our generation. The young man and woman you see before you today are New Era troops. Young men and women who believe in ambition, optimism, strength, and unity together. And that if we come together, we can build a community that of our liking. A community that can prosper with love and prosperity. A community with a great chairman for him. And I say great because he's great to me. Because before him, I was only exposed to athletics, playing football. That's the only way for us to get out together. But Chairman showed me I can be more than an athlete. More than what society wants me to be. And that's a king. And if y'all think there's not enough data today, I challenge y'all to come down to New Era Cleveland, 659 Broadway Avenue. We're open Monday through Thursday from 4 to 8. And also, if y'all can't make it there, make it this Saturday, 4/20. We'll be there at 11 o'clock, 659 Broadway Avenue. We'll be distributing toys and home appliances to victims, families that have been impacted by gun violence. So thank y'all. Have a blessed one.
Thank you all for listening to them. And I also would like to add that in regards to CVI, Community Violence Intervention, our program hours are 4 to 8, but I've gotten phone calls at 2 a.m. to address something going on in these households. A lot of you all patrol officers are very familiar with me and very familiar with our academy because those youth that are just finding their ways of getting into things, they brought them to me, as well as the library has referred children to us that have been getting into things in the neighborhood. So, idle mind is the devil's playground. Right, so what are we filling those voids with? And that's what we specialize in. So thank you all.
Thank you.
That's a tough act to follow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Petit, 647 Lincoln Boulevard. I've been in Bedford since, first of all, I want to give Mr. Commander some love. I dealt with him through the years, and he's doing a great job. Moving forward, we're doing a great job up there. I've been in Bedford since 2005, Oakwood, Bedford, and I moved to Lincoln Boulevard on 2011. What I want to discuss is the water issue that's going on behind many houses behind there. I have photos, and Mr. Mangino, he basically, called for me, and I reached out to him, and he said, yeah, you can contact this number. So I called the water department, no reply. No reply to the city of Cleveland. Oh. This gentleman made one call. They called me right away. So they came out and they looked at the backyard and everything, and they said the way the houses are built, our level is high versus the lower level. The business is high and our houses is low. That's why we're getting all the water in our backyard. We have a lot of damaged basements. I'll say at least 6, 7 houses around here. And it's continually happening. And we trying to figure out what can we do, or could you guys do to help us out as far as grant money or anything that's available to help us, because the lady at the water department said we have to de-excavate the foundation back there in our backyards to see if there's like some kind of problem back there. And other neighbors were supposed to come out, but they was tied up. So like I said, I'm just trying to get a solution to this problem and see what can we do as far as, residents and you guys can do to help us. And like I always said, I commend the young people that's doing this, because I dealt with young people. I coached at the high school, at the RAC. Actually, my son gave out football scholarships to a lot of kids at the high school. And we try and give back to the community. And I'm happy what these gentlemen is doing. And I'm definitely going to be there Saturday and check them out and see what's going on. But I appreciate your time, and you guys have a blessed day.
I think we will look into that.
Okay, thank you.
And by the way, that was the regional sewage, right, Mike? That's the name of regional sewer. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want people to think the water department is what you call it.
Right, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Is it ever coming past EC King?
You can pass by. You had a question back there?
Oh, yeah. Can I say something? And, so, on Saturday also, if any of y'all do decide to come, I will be performing So Is Him. He a poet. So, I just want y'all to look forward to that, and, y'all can hear my music, and you can see, and I'm also trying to make a new genre of music called the culture, because kids is easily influenced through the music, so I felt like, change all the negative I was doing into positive, and I make it sound good too, so, just letting y'all know. A lot of entertainment there.
Good. Anyone else wish to speak? If not, can I have a motion for adjournment by Longino, second by Smith? Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.